But Obama was determined.
We are going to need to register as many voters as we can.
When he announced his run for the Senate, he was a clear underdog.
I had no money, I had no organization, and nobody could pronounce my name.
Well, that Democratic primary is the craziest political race I've ever witnessed.
Crazy, but for Obama, lucky. Scandal in unsealed court papers would derail the campaigns of both the Democratic frontrunner Blair Hull and the Republican nominee Jack Ryan.
I welcome Mr. Keyes to this Senate race.
Failing to find local talent to replace their fallen candidate, Illinois Republicans picked Alan Keyes, a Maryland conservative, for the race.
Christ would not vote for Barack Obama.
Enter this bombastic figure of Alan Keyes to run against him. I mean, it's a script that a screenwriter couldn't write.
And Cody, I want to congratulate you for doing just an outstanding job raising this steer. So, vegetarians.
Then Obama got an even bigger break. Something more than a floor pass to the 2004 Democratic National Convention. He got an invitation to give the keynote speech. Obama's good friend Marty Nesbitt noticed Obama was connecting with young people.
We were walking down the street, and there was this crowd building behind us, kind of like Tiger Woods at the Masters. And I turned to him and I said, man, you're really turning into a rock star. And he said, if you think it's bad today, wait until tomorrow. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, my speech is pretty good.
Now, even as we speak, there are those who are preparing to divide us. The spin masters, the negative ad peddlers, who embrace the politics of anything goes. Well, I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America.
Barack Obama became an instant star for the Democrats. Political consultant David Axelrod.
I said to myself, his life is never going to be the same.
The tears were running down my eyes, and I felt embarrassed. I turned around and looked at Terry Link. We all felt so proud and so good.
Barack Obama won his Senate race by a landslide. The race soon got ugly.
While I was working on those streets, watching those folks see their jobs shipped overseas, you were a corporate lawyer sitting on the board of Walmart. I was fighting these fights. I was fighting against those ideas when you were practicing law and representing your contributor, Resco, in his slum landlord business in inner city Chicago.
Anything you want to say?
Developer Tony Resco was Obama's friend and one of his top political contributors when Obama was an Illinois state senator.
He had gotten too close to this guy to see the problems that were swirling around him.
Obama wanted to buy a house in Chicago's exclusive Hyde Park neighborhood, but the seller was only willing to sell the house with the vacant lot next to it, and Obama couldn't afford to buy both. Resco's wife bought the vacant lot, enabling Obama to buy his house at $300,000 below the asking price. It had the appearance of influence buying. Resco was later convicted of fraud, money laundering, and bribery, charges unconnected to Obama.
But there are no allegations that I was involved with anything, that there was, that any of his problems were related to me. I did show, I did make a mistake in entering into a real estate with him that was completely separate from the topic of his trial, and I've said it was a mistake.
Obama's a guy who's generally a pretty good judge of character, I think, but in this instance, he was off.
Hoping to distance himself, Obama gave Resco's political donations to charity. But then came an unexpected blow that would cause far more damage.
No, no, no. Not God bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible.
Reverend Jeremiah Wright, Obama's pastor and friend of 20 years. Inflammatory excerpts from his sermons began to surface on the internet.
And they will not only attack you if you try to point out what's going on in white America, U.S. of KKKA.
Casting a shadow over Obama's campaign. At first, he stood by his pastor.
As imperfect as he may be, he has been like family to me. I can no more disown him than I can disown the black community.
Reverend Wright, the floor is now yours.
But Jeremiah Wright would not stop.
You cannot do terrorism on other people and expect it never to come back on you. Those are biblical principles, not Jeremiah Wright bombastic, divisive principles.
His provocative statements at the National Press Club in April fueled the flames of the controversy.
He chose this church. He chose this hate monger as a spiritual leader.
The Reverend had, in effect, made his longtime friend a target. A visibly anguished Obama, in the fight of his political life, finally severed the relationship.
The person I saw yesterday was not the person that I met 20 years ago. His comments were not only divisive and destructive, but I believe that they end up giving comfort to those who prey on hate. They certainly don't portray accurately my values and beliefs.
How hard was that for him?
I think it was very tough.
He seemed angry when he was giving that speech about Reverend Wright, when he dismissed him.
I think he was.
A personal loss in the middle of a pitched battle with Hillary Clinton.
Well, I'm here. He's not.
Okay, well, I can't tell who I'm running against sometimes.
That would not end until June. In one of the closest primary contests in history, Barack Obama, the one-time underdog candidate, came out on top.
Thank you, Iowa. Thank you, Minnesota. Thank you, North Carolina. May God bless.
Obama's campaign message of hope and change has resonated with many young voters.
Yes, we can! Yes, we can!
Look what he's done so far. The fact that we have 4 million new voters in the Democratic Party, these are people, many of whom never voted before.
But to others, he seems a blank slate. His time in office too short to know how he would deal with the pressures and the problems of the White House. For Barack Obama, it has been an extraordinary journey.
For as long as I live, I will never forget that in no other country on earth is my story even possible.
An improbable journey from a boy trying to find his place to a man trying to be president, fueled by, in his words, the hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too.
We are ready for change. We are ready to come together. And in this election, we are ready to believe again. God bless you.